Hello my dear students, I am Mrunalini Hirpathak from Fergusson College and I have been teaching you Vocational Computer Science Paper 1 and the chapter is C++. We have till now seen all the concepts of object-oriented programming like inheritance, polymorphism, objects, and we have also seen classes. Last time we also saw what is file handling or how to handle a file in C++. Now we'll move on to the different types of programs that you can have in your C++ or you have to write in C++. Yes, students, as I just told you that we will be talking or writing some programs in C++. These programs will be based on control structures, which was the first lecture that I have taken and you've done this in 11th standard. Then we'll do some programs on functions in C++ and finally we'll end up with the programs that are based on classes. We also call them the object-oriented programs. So let us see the first program, simple program. Write a program in C++ to find the maximum between two numbers using if-else control structure. So if-else is if the condition and else. So it is a branching logic in which any one of the two option is going to be selected and given at the output. Include iostream.h. Why do I need this? Is because we are going to use the cin and the cout statement, and to handle cin cout statement, whatever is needed, it is written in the iostream class, which stands for the input output stream class. Then I have included the conio.h. Your examiner in practicals can ask you the question like, why do I need conio.h in the program? It is because I'm going to use two inbuilt functions in C++. One of them is CLR-SCR and the other one is getCH. CLR-SCR simply clears the screen or cleans the screen for you, and your getCH will hold the screen for you when you want to see the output. So obviously to clean the screen, it should be at the beginning of your void main. Then getting the screen or holding the screen should be towards the end when the whole result is in front of you on the screen. So remember these two things, they are going to be there in all the programs. To begin with, we are now going to write void main. What is void main? Main is a function. Always remember, when you see these two round brackets, they indicate function in C++. Each bracket has a meaning. So this round bracket is a function. So void main is a function with the return type void, name as main, and the arguments you're passing is again nothing or void. So I've taken two numbers because I want to find which is the maximum in between the two of them. So I say enter the first number, say read it in a variable say A. Then I say enter the second number, read it in variable B. Now comes the if control structure. If A is greater than B. Yes, the condition, if it is true, then the first block will be executed. Let me tell you again, every bracket has a meaning. The curly bracket indicates the block. Okay, so if block is this, every block that you open should be closed also. So if A is greater than B, then we say the first number is the largest. If it is not, we say else, the second number is largest. We are at the very beginning of writing programs in C++. So we are going to assume that A and B are two separate numbers and we are not going to put any two number that is same for A and B. Okay, so we are going to put two different numbers and check which one of them is the largest. Now, the same program to find the maximum and minimum between two numbers using the conditional operator. What is a conditional operator? So this is a conditional operator. It is a question mark and a colon. We'll see how we handle this. So now I have taken again iostream and conio.h as they are void main. Again the same explanation. Here now I have taken four variables A, B, max and min. So again I say enter the first number A, enter the second number B. Now instead of if-else control structure, what I have done is I have used the conditional operator. So if you see this and this is part of conditional operator. How do I read it? So you should read it like this. I've put a bracket. If A is greater than B, question mark. So I'm asking whether A is greater than B. Yes. So if the answer is true, A is assigned to max. If the answer is false, the value of B is assigned to max. Just the other way around. If A is less than B, then question mark, A will be, it is true, so A will be assigned to min. That means the value of A will be assigned to min. If it is false, then value of B will be assigned to min. So we finally say, see out, maximum is the value in max, minimum is value in min. So same program can be done with the if-else control structure. It can be done with the conditional operator. So it depends on the problem definition. If in the exam they've specifically asked you to use if-else, use the if-else control structure. If they've asked you using conditional operator, use it or write it using the conditional operator. So whatever your problem definition is, you should be able to write the program accordingly. Next. So write a program in C++ to check if the given year is a leap year or not. Again, now they've asked us to use a if-else control structure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter some year and I'm going to check whether this year is a leap year or not. So again, IOStreams, ConIO and void main. Not going to talk much about that. We'll go ahead. We have taken a variable of the type integer yr. Obviously, I'm going to store the year in this variable. So I say enter the year, C in yr. So suppose I enter 2020. So we check. What is this? Year is the variable. What is this? This is the modulo sign. What does it stand for? If you remember, it gives me the remainder between the two variables. So whatever variable, suppose I've put 2000 divided by 4, what is the remainder? It is going to be 0. So now this is important, equal to. Why did I put 2 equal to sign? Is because it is the relational operator which checks the equality between the two operands. So is this answer equal to 0? If I just put a single equal to sign, that is assignment operator. But when I use it with 2 equal to signs, it indicates a relational operator which checks the relation between these two. So is it equal to 0? So if I've put 2000, so yes, it is going to be equal to 0 and I say it is a leap year. If I say 2001, then the remainder is 1. So is it equal to 0? No, it is not. So it is going to come to the else part and say that it is not a leap year. So if else, again, it is branching and only one of the two blocks will be executed depending upon whether the condition is true or false. So if this condition is true, this block is going to be executed. If it is false, this block is going to be executed. Then I stop the main. Next program. So write a program in C++ to check the day of week depending upon the number entered using switch case, where they've asked us that we have to use switch case. What is expected is if I enter say 7, it should give me the corresponding day in the week. So I've taken an integer to read that number. So I say C in n. So I've put the switch on the expression of that is n. So whatever the value of n, suppose I put 1, then it will say C out, the day of week is Monday. If I put 3, then it will say it is Wednesday. If I say put 7, it will put it is a Sunday. Break is very important. Suppose I do not put break, what will happen is it will write, suppose I've put 5, it will write it is Friday. Now suppose I put 7, it will say the day of week is Sunday and then break. Now this break is very important. Now for example, I have put 5 and I say day of week is Friday. and I do not break it, what will happen is it will then put all the statements that follow. So it say day of week is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, everything. So we don't want that. So we put this break. What will break do is it will break the current block of switch and come to the next line, which is get ch. So in this case, we are going to handle only one of all the cases that we have written. Here I have a case default which is quite mandatory when we are handling switch cases. What is it for? Suppose I enter or write any number other than 1 to 7. I write 10 or I write -1. So there is no corresponding day to it. What we do is in that case we say invalid input. So default is mandatory. In this default, break and case, all these are keywords in C++. Now comes important program, which is write a program in C++ to find the factorial of a given number using for loop. Now we've done with the control structure where we have selection logic. We are now moving to the for loop where looping or iteration comes into picture. So something that we want to do over and over again is the looping control structure. So here again IOStream, ConIO and void main as they always are. Then I have taken these variables I, fact, and fact is equal to 1. It is an integer type, and a variable n. Now if you see this, enter the number for which you want to find the factorial. So n is the number for which I want to find the factorial. I have taken an example 4. So I want to find the factorial of 4. Now let me tell you what is a factorial of any number. It is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 up to you reach the number. So for 4 it is going to be 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. For 5 it will be 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So this is how you find the factorial. Now I will see or I'll show you how to iterate. For has this syntax where the first part is initialization followed by a semicolon, then the condition, and then the update. So I start with 1. Fact is initialized to 1. So I'll say fact is equal to 1 into 1. So new value will again be stored into fact. Now I becomes 2 because of this plus plus. So it is 1 into 2. So new value 2 will be stored in fact. I becomes 3. So 2 into 3. 6, that will be stored into fact. Then the I becomes 4. So now 6 into 4, 24 is going to be stored into fact. I becomes 5. The condition I is less than or equal to n now doesn't suffice. So it will close the block, come to the next line. So factorial of the given number is fact, and just now I told you it is the number 24, which is the factorial of the number 4. So this is how you write the program for factorial of a given number. Now they have specifically asked us to write it with the for loop. They can even ask us to write the same program with the while control structures. Either way, the rules or basic programming logic does not change. How I've done this? Again, same thing. I've taken these variables, then I've written enter the number. Again, I've entered n, and let us say I've entered 4. In for loop, the syntax itself initializes the variable I to 1. Okay. In while loop, we have to explicitly do it before we start the while loop. So I need to write I is equal to 1 separately, purposely, explicitly, just because while does not have any condition or any statement that will initialize it. While only checks for the condition. So condition and fact is equal to fact into I as it is, and then we'll have to explicitly increment the value of I, and then it will just simply keep on 1 into 2 into 3 into 4, and we'll get the answer 24. So this is how you will handle the program with the while control structure here. Next, now I've written the program to find the leap year using do while. Okay, so the logic is again same, just that I'm going to use it in a iterative manner. So I'm going to, kind of put now this year, check the next year, check another year for me. So I'm going to keep on doing it for some time. For this, I have taken a character CH. Do control structure, enter the year, and I see in year. I check if the remainder is 0, it's a leap year. If it is not a leap year. We know the logic till this point. Now I check. Do you wish to check another year? If I say yes, then it will be entered and CH will have the value Y. Now the condition, while CH is equal to Y. So is it yes? If it is true, if it is yes, continue the do loop again. If I write any character other than Y, then it will stop and come to get CH. So this is how, or this is where you want to apply the do while control structure. In do while control structure, the condition is checked comes at the end of the while control structure. So next one is write a program in C++ to find the sum of first 100 natural numbers using for control structure. So we want to write from 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 up to 100. It is similar to factorial, just that here we are adding the numbers from 1 to the number. In factorial, we started with the number, we multiplied the numbers. Okay, so same thing, I starting from 1 till it is equal to 100, I say sum is equal to sum plus I. After I am done calculating for the first 100 numbers, I'll print the sum, which should be 1050. So this is how we'll implement the for loop. Now the question, if it comes for the while loop, I think you should be able to handle it or write it properly. The next important question or program that can be asked to you is the Fibonacci series. The Fibonacci series is something like this. It is 0 and 1 are the first two terms compulsory. The next term is the addition of 0 plus 1. The next term is the additional of previous two. So 1 plus 1 is 2. The next term is addition of previous two. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 3, 5. 3 plus 5, 8. 5 plus 8, 13, and so on. So these are terms of Fibonacci series. So we want to write a program to display, say, first 15 or first 10, first n terms of Fibonacci series. So how we are going to achieve this? As I said, 0 and 1 are two terms, first and the second term, which are fixed, always fixed. So I've kept a variable f0, which is 0, and I've kept a variable f1, which is 1. f2 is addition of f0 and f1. So f2 is f0 and f1. Once I'm done printing f0, f1 and f2, so rather I'm done printing f2, what will I do? I will move f0 to f1. So new value will be f0 is equal to f1 and f1 will be equal to f2. So now this is f0, this is f1, and addition of f0 and f1 will give me the next number, which will be Then I'll again move F0 here, F2 here, F1 here. So we'll have F0 plus F1, which will give me 3. This I will continue till I print the asked number of terms in the Fibonacci series. How do I achieve this? So as I told you, I'm going to have a variable F0, which is 0, compulsory, F1, which is 1. Now, since if you've seen the loop iterating will start with F2, I will always need to print F0 and F1 outside the loop. Always remember this. In any form of Fibonacci series that you want to write a program, you're going to print F0 and F1 outside the loop. Okay. So enter the number of terms. Suppose I enter 10. So I'm going to enter 10 terms in the Fibonacci series. I write the Fibonacci series is, and as I told you, the first two elements or the terms I'm going to print outside the loop. So first two are done. Obviously, I will start with the third term, end it till I reach n. Okay. I will say F2 is equal to F1 plus F0. Print F2, change the value of F0, change the value of F1, iterate it again till you reach the number n. In this case, it is 10. So I will now print the Fibonacci series up to 10 elements or 10 terms. This is one important program that can be seen in your papers in various formats. The next one, write a program in C++ to read the array of 10 elements and write or print its sum. Now remember, we are first going to read the elements and then we are going to print the sum. So here I have taken int I, we know, sum we know. What is this? This is something new. It is an array of 5 integers. So array of 5 integers will start with 0, end at 4. So enter the elements of array. I have written for loop. Always remember, array and for are kind of associated with each other. It is easy for you to handle an array if you have a for control structure. So start with a 0. I'll end at 4. I say enter the I term. So 0 term of the element. C in ARR of 0. Suppose I enter 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So the array will contain the 0th element as 10, 20, 30 and n minus 1 as 50. Then again I want to add these elements. So what will I do? Again I'll start with the 0, end at 4, sum 0, we say sum is equal to sum plus ARR of I. So we'll go on adding it into sum and then we'll say sum of all the elements is sum, which should come to around 150. So this is how we handle arrays in C++. Now, the program on factorial of a given number, same program, but now with another variation where I want to write it in a function. Now, function is another topic in C++, remember? And also remember that functions will have, you will have to write the same program the way they have asked you to write it. So all the basic things remain the same. We have a function call and the function prototype, and in the function body, the contents will be same that we have handled till now in C++. So we have to write the function prototype at the beginning, which will tell what is the function name, the arguments and the return type. Function call is actually when I want to call the function, and then function body is actual definition that as to what should happen inside the function or what that function should do. Next one is write an object-oriented program to implement an inventory class to calculate total price of the items purchased. Now, when they ask you that you have to write an object-oriented program, you must include a class. If they say implement a class, then again you should write a function with classes and objects. Or if they say write an object-oriented program, you must use a class. So here I have used a class inventory. I have taken number for number of items that we are going to purchase and the cost. Get I will say whatever number of items we are going to purchase and the cost at which we are going to purchase. Put I will simply put the total price as cost into the number of items. In void main, I have taken two variables n and p. Enter the numbers of items we selected. Suppose I have taken 10 pen, so I will say 10 at the price of 10 rupees. So enter the price. This will be again 10. I have this inventory I. So I is the object of inventory class, and I say I dot get I. So I will say 10 into 10, that will be allocated to the number of items purchased and the cost, and this will give me the total price, which will be 10 into 10, that is 100. Now one more program, write an object-oriented program to find the GCD of two given numbers. GCD is the greatest common divisor. So we have these two numbers. I have taken two variables, the data members are num and den. And find is simply a function that I'm going to write to find the GCD between num and den. When I write it outside, I will have to write the return type, the function name, argument list along with the class name, which is GCD, then the scope resolution operator. Remember, the scope resolution operator tells me that the scope of this function find is in the GCD class. Then I read numerator and denominator. We know this fundamental things of if num and then are equal, we are not going to iterate this while loop, but if they are not equal, we are going to iterate this till they become equal. Once they are equal, we are going to stop. So if there is a GCD between the two numbers, we can stop at that point. If there is no GCD between the two numbers, like say 9 and 7, then they will iterate it till both of them reach 1, and we will say GCD is 1 in that case. Void main GCD G and G dot find. So this object is calling this function find, and we are calculating the value of GCD between the numerator and the denominator. Next, now the same program to find the factorial. This time we are going to implement a class. Okay, so same program of factorial can be asked in different ways. What I've done is I've written class fact and a function find. So I've written that function outside. We know all these things that we've done till now, the while control structure and other things. Finally, we print the value of this f that we have calculated. Remember, if they have asked you to implement a class fact, keep the name as it is. Don't make it factorial or something else. Whatever name they have asked you to use for class, for function, stick to it. Okay. So now enter the number cin fact f1, and I will use this find function, and I'll pass the variable whatever we have asked n to it, and n factorial for that n will be calculated using this find function. So this is how you implement a class or use the object-oriented programming concept of C++ for the same programs that we have done till now. Yes, students. Now we have seen many programs that are related to C++, including the programs on control structures, functions, and classes. With this, we conclude what we've done in the chapter of C++, which was the part of Vocational Computer Science, Paper 1. Thank you, students.